Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday, the day after Tesla earnings. Well, everybody's depressed now, but we'll help you. We'll help walk you through it, right, Tracker?
Well, yeah. We're here. We're here for you guys, no matter what. Don't. I don't know. I was just complaining. I was responding to one of my subscribers. They're expressing their frustration with Tesla. I'm like, well, Tesla. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It's either it does nothing forever and it's dead money, or bam, it's amazing, like for a short period of time, right? But you just have to believe in the longer time cycles if you want to be a buy and hold that works. But you have to be willing to just hold it for a long time and not listen to the market yelling what they think Tesla is worth today. You just have to imagine what Tesla is worth 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Like Pagey. Pagey does an amazing job of that, because they really are. They're the world's preeminent engineering company. They solve problems like no one's business. They're tackling things that no one no one has dared to try, and they are daring, and it's amazing. But the stock price it's prone to manipulation by the market makers, and because they figure out just how to. All of us Tesla fans, we wear our hearts on our sleeves and say, "Oh, we love Tesla," and we get all excited when it goes up, and we buy more. But then the weekly get all, you get disparaged when it goes into the red. You got to be more like Mattsby. You just buy on the red days, and then you trim on the green days, and that's kind of it. Or just buy and hold and think of that 5 to 10 year horizon. The earnings call was amazing. Now, I didn't watch it live, but I heard everyone talk about it, and it's like, oh, he sounded so tired and depressed and blah blah blah. It was a terrible earnings call. And I did this thing. There's this guy, I can't remember his name. He's got a YouTube video. He goes through and he types everything that everyone says on screen while they're reading it. And if you just read the text, the stuff they're saying is amazing. What they're going to be doing with Tesla. So I'm really excited. I think if you just strip out the Elon's voice tone and just look at the text of his message, it's a very bullish earnings call. So don't be disparaged. Let's see what the market has to say in the full light of day, with the full weight of the full open market. Right. Last night it's just it's a bunch of low volume participants. All right. Sorry, that was my diatribe. Hopefully that handles Tesla.
Yeah, I'll talk about Tesla after I talk about the indices too. We can see that still SPY is melting higher and higher, up, higher highs, all-time high candle close yesterday. So that's the trend. Trend is your friend, and next big resistance, 648 up top, and QQQ, it is still trying to break into all-time highs again. It's having difficulties day over day. It's basically stuck in the same range for the past 4 days in a row, maybe 5 days in a row. But the next big resistance is basically 578. IWM also is breaking out today, and it tried to get above the 226.74. It did close at 226.68, and now we're seeing a little bit of a sell-off pre-market. So it hit resistance basically on the nose, fell a little bit short, and only got to 226.71 yesterday. So really got close. But this is what I'm watching the most, right? Break this 786, and this could be pretty powerful. So that's an amazing development here for IWM, and I think I'm most excited about this if it can.
Look at all those gaps on the way up with not unfilled gaps. It's kind of exciting. IWM is in a hurry to get somewhere.
Yeah, these are just daily gaps, so it's not that big of a deal. Like weekly gaps, there's really none. So that's fine. But this is just a very, very interesting development because this is a massive zone, right? Huge. So if it breaks back above, it's going to all-time highs. And that's going to bring a lot of risk-on stuff for these small caps and crypto and all that jazz, even Bitcoin miners especially. So let's go to Bitcoin first. And we can see that Bitcoin, there's really no change on my chart. Still breaking out, still back testing, still consolidating at a higher level. Just let it do its thing, right? Yeah, altcoins did sell off quite a bit while with Bitcoin did nothing. And that just increased the Bitcoin dominance back to go up towards resistance again. So I'm not going to be too concerned with that. Nice little overnight flush there for the altcoins too. I wish I was awake to maybe grab some of those lows, but I had to sleep. So We'll talk about some of those altcoins later, but let's just look at Tesla. I did make a post just now about this chart, and I've been showing this chart forever now. Basically, every time price gets back down to this 45, there's panic. There's panic. And if it went back down there again, it would be around like 280, right? Maybe 270, 275, 276. But that's if it gets back down there. We don't know. It's never a guarantee to go back down to that level because sometimes, like you see right here, it never did. Right. Sometimes like right here, it never did until later. So we'll see if it needs to this time or not. But what I'm really watching the most is still this log based fib. And remember what I said about IWM and the 786, right? Well, look at the 786 right here. It's 306, right? Anything above that and anything that wicks below it and kind of maintain it as support, why would I be bearish on a stock that's trying to build a base on top of the 786? I'm not. Right. And it's also just trying to stay within the weekly cloud as well. Right. We have that right there. And we can go back to the 50-week moving average as well and just keep looking at that. And that's at 308.55. So if you add up all these confluence, you got the 50-week moving average, you got the bottom of the cloud at like 313, you got the 786 at 306. Everything is in this zone. Everything is in this zone. So why would I be bearish on a stock like this? I accumulate on stocks like this. I'm not scared of it, right? This is opportunity. And actually, on the lows of last week, I was buying more TSLL around current price, right? So it's basically back to where price was, where I was buying before things kind of broke out. So that's why I buy before the breakout, because then when price does go back down, if it goes wicks below, then yeah, I can buy more. I'm not stressing out about things because I'm not chasing. I'm not chasing at all. But this is baby steps in the right direction. And I think what it can do is just basically stay in this little wedge formation. And I know Tracker loves wedges. And it could just stay in this little wedge formation and eventually break out. Whenever that's going to be, I don't know. But it's basically forming that pattern. And you can't ignore it. You can't deny it. It looks like it's going to happen, but only is going to reward the patient. That's it, Tracker.
It's a super atomic wedgie.
Exactly.
All right, I got my Bitcoin chart up here, and I just want to remind you, this is the Tracker special, right? This is my one chart to rule them all that I drew and showed to everybody. So here's Bitcoin on a log scale. Here's $1 million. And, we could hit it sometime anywhere between 2026, which would be crazy. No, it's not going to go in 2026. Somewhere around maybe 2030, perhaps. So maybe I should really just do like this with this thing. Yeah, and so expect, I just took this price action from, gosh, is it this one or is it that one? It's this one, and I copied it and I just kind of stretched it out here because I thought it would be cool to use that as a kind of a ghost pattern feed. What could do? And anyway, we're here, we're right here. We're just under this resistance level on my Gann chart. It's about 122,965. But once it gets over it, it's the next level. This cycle, I think we'll get to. I was just saying 200,000, but now maybe 280 could be possible. And I did a timing cycle. Anyway, I'm sorry, this isn't the show for this. What I wanted to show you is if you get right down to it on a linear scale chart, same chart, you are here now. And we're in this triangle here. And look, Bitcoin, just like Matt said, Bitcoin's basically barcoding. And while Bitcoin's barcoding, it's like, I'm going up. No, I'm going down. No, I'm going up. No, I'm going down. Then like everyone's freaking out in the altcoin market. And so that's why you get the big, we had the Solana and XRP sell-offs yesterday and other coins that I don't even track, but Matt tracks them all. Look what it did overnight last night. XRP drops back down to, I identified this bookend wick over here at about, let's see, here it was 297 and here it was 296, I believe. 296 was the low. So there you go, bookends. And this kind of for Bitcoin, nothing's really happening that much. It's barcoding. I think actually what we could get is something like this expands. This is a triangle we haven't even shown yet. This is the bottom, but we haven't even gotten to the top of it yet. Hang on, so I got to pull this out like this. So like price is actually probably going to do something like this, and then maybe it tests down into here, and then it goes up. So I'm looking for something like that. Oh, look, there's 126,000. In the meantime, this kind of move in Solana, here's Sol. This is 2x Solana, and look at this. I predicted that it might, since it had this island top, and then yesterday we got the broken palm tree. I said, oh, we're going to open with an island bottom, and look, here we did. Here's the gap right here. So we're on an island bottom. I think it might go to 2031 for Solt. I'm short on this. Very exciting for that. But XRP, this move where it jumps up and then jumps back down again for altcoins, that's exactly the kind of rocket fuel we need to bounce up higher and go into the $5 range, $5 footlongs all day long up here. So I'm very excited about what's going on with that. And Matt and Kat called it already. I mean, you look at IWM and altcoin season, they're like two fingers crossed together. They're Bonnie and Clyde. Anyway, that's that. Tesla. Why don't I have Tesla already? Let's just use. Oh no! All right, we'll use this one. I'll come back to DJT. So yeah, now I don't have anything much to add to what Matt's already said, other than I think Tesla is just on a long. Let's see. Should I do it in logarithmic scale? No. Let's just in this linear scale. It's just on a long path. It looks. Oh, I should just show this whole Gann chart here. Right. It's just on a long predetermined path to get out of. I guess really there should be like a new Gann chart that starts here. But I wanted to take this all the way back to the time history. Maybe I messed up. Anyway, it's going to 1,000. You just have to wait. And then, I mean, if you think about it, everything Kathy Wood said about Tesla already came through. She said it would go to 4,000. That's before they did the split. We already did that. We already got to 4,000. And so now this is like, even 4 times that. So 3 times that. All right. Sorry. I guess I should say on a shorter time scale with Tesla. Like I said, let's see how the market opens here. This is a 4-hour time scale. Here's my moving average 75. That explains the battle between the 50 period moving average and 100 period moving average very, very well. And the 300 moving average is the thinner line, and it's just 4 times what the 75 is doing. And you can see it's been support, and and the trend is oscillation. The longer it oscillates, then when it finally does break out, the higher the move up. And that's pretty much all I can say about that. Should I do 16? And I don't have the Bollinger Band. Don't tell me anything on this time scale. It's really nice when Kat does the monthly log scale Bollinger Band, and then looks for the look, it did this fake out expansion. It just got too hot. Look, the wicks came through the monthly 21 SMA in gray here, but we haven't had any candle bodies close in there. So it looks like it does. It could push up on this any minute, any day now. All right, that's it, Tesla. Back to you, Matt.
I'll start with some of the requests here. We got RKT, and here's my RKT chart. So it broke out above this, or is trying to at least break out above this 1602. That's the 50% fib from the all-time high to the all-time low. So that's basically all I'm really watching. I want to see if it can actually close the week back above it on Friday. So if it can, then yeah, it can maybe start to flip it to a support, previous resistance, flip to support, and then go higher 2023. But if not, it might still be resistance, and maybe a retrace could still happen back into the 15s or a little bit lower. But trying to be more bullish. Let's find out. 1602 and VOYG here. This one, There's not much I can do. I mean, maybe Tracker can do a better job on this one, but it's basically just not much data, and we can just add the Ichimoku. It's not even getting back above the daily conversion line. It's trying, but it's not succeeding. So it still could just trend lower and lower and lower. So not really my style of chart to chart because I need more data. But
yeah, I'll cover Voyager.
Yeah, and Oust, I'll just do this one since it has more data. And we can see Oust that it does look like it might want to consolidate a little bit more, right? It's kind of extended from the daily cloud. We go to the weekly cloud, and we can see it's kind of a big rejection off this black line. And that black line, I drew that black line for the purpose. It's not a fib level. It's just a big zone where it tried to be support, and then it broke down. So it's the breakdown level that it's trying to reclaim, but it got rejected there on the way to the 618. So it did hit resistance, which means it could just retrace a little bit more, maybe even back test the 2386 or a little bit lower before continuing higher. But it is a very bullish chart. It's just getting a little bit overextended from the cloud. So I would be maybe a little bit patient with this one at this zone because it's not really guaranteed to break above that $30 zone yet. So perhaps a little lower first before higher. And lastly, I'll just do INOD. And INOD, this one's trying to break the 1.618. It's been trying for a long time. A long time. It's been a resistance for ever since basically November of last year. And 50.13, that's the goal. Break above it, it can get more bullish. If not, it'll be stuck in this little tight range for a while and might even need to retrace a little bit lower back into the low 40s to maybe even touch the cloud. But if it just stays horizontal for a little bit, maybe it's going to just gravitate horizontally to the cloud and not do much. And maybe after it touches the cloud, then maybe goes higher. So it looks like a little bit more consolidation is in order to break this 50.13. It's not ready yet. Not ready. All right, Tracker.
All right, I got Voyager Technologies up here. I'm telling you, I'm biased because whoops, I lost my screen here. I'm biased because I had a bunch of money in Voyager and they lost it. They lost it where they decided to lend to FTX, Sam Altman, or not Sam Altman, the other guy. Anyway, sorry, getting my things confused. So look, if you just go all the way from the $73.92 high to this $37.75 low, then you can see it did get over the 1111 mini boss. It kind of oscillated around it, and then did break out and kind of got almost to the 2929. It got over the 236, and then we're back to retesting, or it did test twice right here. I'm sorry, this is really small. It did retest the 1111 twice right here for support, so that looks pretty promising. You can see the Bollinger Band 21 SMA is kind of holding a support as well. So yeah, this could be pushing up. I don't know if it might have to squeeze tighter for longer before it goes up, before it can really move up. You can see on the 16-hour chart, the institutions aren't really doing a lot with this. It's mostly retail and traders. But you can see these fib extensions here describe how it would get back up to the 382, something like, let's see where we, see this one, 764, 236, 1382. Oh, this is all over the place. Probably more, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but if I do this to here, then it describes almost how it gets back to the 786. So maybe we'll do that one instead. Sorry, I'm struggling with my voice here. Let's see. So from here, let's see, 764, 382, 1382, 100, and then 2382. So there you go. Just take a screenshot of that for Voyager. And moving on, let's see. I had a chart I was going to do. Oh, DJT. Someone asked me to do to look at this real quick, and I said I would in the show. Take off the Bollinger Bands. I had this chart where I thought maybe it would go to 382 and then the 114, and look, it almost kind of did that. Didn't quite make it up there and went a little deeper. These are retracement levels. Yes, no, these are extensions. 16-hour chart. Look for it to try to get to the 786 up here maybe now. So 64.91 next. I don't know if it's a short squeeze candidate. That's what this person was thinking that it could be getting. Just based on, if you look at the price history from way back here on the, oh no, I did it on the other one, MViz. Yeah, look, it's just trying to get back up here. Yeah, let's just look for, I like the 16-hour chart be better. Just take a screenshot of this. There's your DJT. It's really gonna be stuck down here for a while, but once you see it get to this 300 moving average up here around the 236, 2771, and then drop back down, that's when you know it's time to get in again. It already kind of did that once, but it needs to do it again. And then next time it's got to hold support at this moving average 75 on my 16-hour chart. So you can draw it the same way on yours. All right, there you go, DJT. And then I said I would do this MViz real quick, and then I'll get on to the regular requests. MViz, same kind of thing. You look at this chart, and I don't know, it's not the kind of chart that I would normally like to go into. I mean, it was really exciting back in the early 2000s, but then it just dropped off. And so now I just took out the 1111 of all that price action and then bisected it again. So here are on the log scale from 0 to the 1111, but now it's subdivided, and here's the 111 down here. Here's the 50% level. So you can see it did in 2023. No, I'm sorry, 2021. It tried to get back to the 50% level and then lost it, and it got sent all the way back down. And did another blow off top over the 1111, and it's you know, you can see what I'm doing. It's making smaller and smaller little bits under here, and so the next move is probably going to be halfway back to the 1111. So look for a blow off top, probably right to this moving average 75 on this monthly chart, about 373. It could even wick to 423. The only exciting part is if it ever can get over the 382, you can look at the entire price history. I've got the visible range volume profile here. There are a bunch of bag holders up here that would like to exit. So, you know, I wouldn't get excited until it gets over 423. But obviously, right now it's $1.47. So, you know, you could size in small, and it could be a nice lotto ticket. I just wouldn't bet the farm on it because it could go sideways for longer still. And then, you know, Trump's term in office ends in just a few years here, and then who knows after that. Okay, back to you, Matt, and then I'll come back with some other requests.
Yeah, I'll do some crypto here. So I see ETH, and I'll do XRP. So let's take a look here at Ethereum. And what I see in Ethereum is just kind of range bound between a new range here between the 886 and the 786 on the high time frame. So that is the current range. We can even add on the Ichimoku cloud and take a look that the cloud is way down there as well. We can even go to the monthly chart and take a look how it just had a perfect launch from the top of the monthly cloud, right? You can actually zoom in and see what really happened. It broke out 2 months ago, back tested the whole cloud, and then launchpad, right? That was basically the development. And so now this is good. It's a very bullish chart, and it's a big 45% monthly candle right now. So if it did need to go back down to the 33.76, that's perfectly acceptable, right? For any kind of back test, especially on the week-to-week basis. And that's kind of near where the top of the cloud is. So we are looking more and more bullish for crypto, right? It just exploded massively in comparison to Bitcoin. So I think that's why you're seeing more sell-off pressure under altcoins than Bitcoin, because the percentage-wise, they increased a lot more in comparison. And when I go to XRP, I did show this fib on the live stream with the triumvirate, the cat and the tracker.
Woo-hoo.
And it's this fib right here, right? The Fibonacci of the 2014 high. And I made a post about it earlier today too. And it's basically the height and the low here. It's
tracks a bull flag.
Yeah, it's just a giant bull flag, but you can see how well these fibs have tracked, like the 1.618, the 1.414, the 1.2, like they all were perfect. And actually, the 2018 top was the 2.72. That was the top, and it never ever got above it now. But what is XRP doing now? Well, let's zoom in. Well, it broke out, and it just back tested it overnight a couple of times, right? And it actually went down to the 290s. It went to 295, which is a fantastic development, right? I think this is something that is very bullish because it has never ever happened before, right? Never happened before. So when you zoom out like this, and you can see the big picture of it was the 2018 top, and now it's basically wicking below that, and it's holding. Yeah, very bullish, extremely bullish. I cannot be bearish at all on XRP. It just wants to maybe build a base at a higher level now and continue the journey higher. I do see a BNB request as well. This one broke the 2000. Where's my fib? Yeah, it's the 2021 high. Yeah, it broke that 2021 high right there at 704.60. So this is kind of a similar situation where it's a breakout. But if it did need to backtest the 704, I think that's perfectly fine. That's acceptable for the continuation higher. Next big resistance is going to be 1016 up top, and looks better and better. I mean, it's kind of been a slow mover for the past year and a half maybe, but this is looking better and better, and I think it has the potential to go to the thousands pretty soon, right? And with that, I actually wanted to show Coinbase transition back into a stock here, and just show you what I'm seeing here for the pre-market. It's basically rejection at the previous all-time highs, and now it's just consolidating. But one thing I want to point out is the weekly Bollinger Band, not the bull market support band, the weekly Bollinger Band here. Basically, it's trying to maintain it as a support. We can even go to the monthly as well and see that it did already explode last month above it, and this month there's continuation. So the upper monthly Bollinger Band is 356, and it's getting quite extended from it. So we could probably just need to wait until maybe even next month for bullish continuation. But we have Bollinger Band expansion for the first time. The bottom of the band is expanding, and I saw Kat made a post about it actually on X compared to Palantir. Once it got above the 886, once it started to expand, then Palantir just took off, and this is exactly what Coinbase is doing as well. So the bottom of the band is expanding right when it broke the 886. This is exactly what Palantir did. So if you want to try to trade it short term and maybe try to hope for lower levels, 370s, 60s, 350s, by all means, go ahead. For me, I'm not going to go in and out. I'm just going to be accumulating. If it does go a little bit lower, sure, I'll buy more. Why not? But this is a very bullish setup that has amazing potential to just go to the thousands and beyond. So,
yeah, I got to tell you guys, I full ported into Conel yesterday, the 2X ETF of coin. I just dropped 100K in it yesterday. Noise. So I'm ready for the rocket ride.
Noise. Get her done.
Yeah.
All right, Tracker, back to you.
All right, let me show you guys SoFi. Now, there's two things really interesting. One is that I had predicted a 764,382. That did not happen. Instead, you can see on the retracement level, it went right up into this zone here over the 702, which on my extension side, it really looked, you can see the wick went right to the 100%. So I think it really wants to come back down to test the 50%, maybe the 886 if it takes longer. So what I'm watching is how the moving average 75 on the 16-hour chart is moving faster and the 300 is moving slower. If it does a fast pullback, then maybe the 618 at 1709, which is also this 886 here at $17. So that's the fast hit. If it goes slower, it could go to the 50% level or the 786 down here for support. And then the 300 would hit it. So you'll know if you just do a 16-hour chart, put a moving average 75, colored orange like this, and nice and thick. You'll know if price bounces off of it, that's the bottom, and it goes up from there. But if price passes through it, tests back up to it as resistance, then you know it's in for a deeper move down to probably 1573, the 786 here, and watch for the 300 moving average on the 16-hour chart to catch it after that. So let's pretend for now that it's a fast move. It catches it at the 618. Well, then I would expect the 1618 to go next. I don't even have it on this one. let's see. I've got a template for this. 1618. So now I'm moving my wave 3 target up to $31.31 for SoFi. So the question I think was, how will it behave after earnings? I'm expecting a pullback, I would say. Look for just a kind of a fast dump here to get everyone kind of freaked out. I mean, it's done great here. Let's see, is this a 382? This could be a 382, 236, 1236 though. Oh my God. I hate this pattern. Oh wait, there's one more take. So I got a third take on this. What if it did the 382, 236, but kind of a little high on the high side? Then maybe the next resistance target actually isn't till, oh, I tell you, trying to predict these things sometimes ahead of time. So 2587 could be, it could just keep going all the way up to 2587, which is the 886. Then that's resistance, and it sends it back down to check out. Oh, at least the 702 down here at 2120, 2110, maybe the 618 at 1908. So I know. I'm telling you a bunch of numbers. It's hard. It's hard to know for sure which way it's going to go, but that's a couple of different ways it could definitely go. So anyway, watch and see what happens. If it can make a new higher high than it's already made, look to 2552 for this 886. And if it doesn't make a new higher high, then look down here to this 786 at 1573. All right, that's my SoFi take. I got my crow squawked in my ear earlier on Oscar because it's coming up to resistance at my moving average 300 right here, the thinner one here on my 16-hour chart. That's getting very close. Now that could be initial resistance. What I expect next is price will bounce back to the 75. So you'll see it go from 1642. It'll drop back down depending on how long it takes. It could meet it right here at this 382 at 1540 right here. Whatever it is, it'll hit the moving average 35 in the 16-hour chart, and then it'll send it back up. And this time it'll get over the 300. And then the important thing is getting back over this 50% retracement at 1698, and that will allow it to retest the 786, back to the 702, to the 1168, back to the 100% or the 886, and then finally gets to the 141 up here at 2756. So, I mean, ultimately, my Oscar target, if you just don't trade all this oscillation that I just talked about, you could see, let's see, if it does drop back to this 1540, from $15.40, it's 80% higher to 2756. All right, there's Oscar. Do you want to take over, Matt, or I can keep going?
Yeah, I'll do just a couple more crypto before I run away. Yeah.
Sorry, Tesla took a lot of ranting, my ranting time.
I see a request for Tel and Fetch and Doge, so I'll just finish off with those. I think he means Telcoin, not the stock. So let's go to Telcoin. Yeah, it's trying to break above the 50% fib. We can see the 0.0746436 is the resistance it's trying to break above. But we already got the breakout back test of the ARC. So this thing right here is kind of a bullish scenario. So I think in the weeks to come, it could be able to break that resistance above and then head higher and go up to the 0.12 and the 0.17 above and go back maybe into the 786 at the 0.25. But it might take some time to get there, but this is the main goal to overcome before it gets more bullish. We'll take a look at Dogecoin as well. We can go and check out the weekly chart and see that it's just doing a back test now. It broke back above the 618. We can add all the other indicators on here as well, the SMAs, the Ichimoku, all that stuff. And all it did right now, it was a breakout back test kind of at the baseline and the 50-week moving average. So we're back above that 50-week, 22 cents. It did go back down to 2217 overnight. And now it actually has the potential to stabilize there and maybe even close the week back above this 2626 by Sunday. If so, that would be a really bullish development for the potential to finally break into the cloud. And that was just resistance. It just got hit. So if it can't break resistance, it goes back to retest support. And that's as simple as that. And lastly, I'll just do Fetch here. Fetch AI, same situation. Could not break above the 382. This is a powerful resistance zone right here. So if it can't break above resistance, which it hasn't been for a while, then it's just going to go back down to retest support. And support right now is basically There's a conversion line there around 75 cents. There's also the 200-week moving average at 698. So it's just slowly breaking one level back at a time and just becoming a little bit more bullish. But once it breaks above this 382, I think it'll be ready for $1. But that might take a little bit more time with that. So Tracker, go ahead and take us out.
All right. See, I wanted to pick a real a struggling one here. CYFRF is one that I was advocating to my subscribers, and now it's just having a hard time. Let's see. I wanted to get this. Here we go. Those fibs there. And then I'm just moving this around. So it hasn't changed as far as the retracement fibs. It hasn't changed as far as the extension fibs has not changed. It ever since it made from this, this is actually, from this low of 4.5 cents to the high of $4.29. It made a higher low down here at 86 cents, and it has not broken below that. So even though it went all the way to 296, and then now it's down here to $1.09, unless it makes a lower, higher low, the wave 2 here is still intact, and you get this wave progression that I was just redrawing here. I think since it went 50% back under the 114, I'm thinking 100% 764. Well, why not just the 1232? Let's just take out the 1232. 1232, 764, 2236. So that really isn't any much different than what I had already. But the big news here, the bad news, is that originally my target for this parabolic wave was like this, right? And it was like 193 days out from where we are now. But now with all this extra action, now it's like 421 days out to just this parabolic arc pushes it way out. So it's gonna be a little bit slower. It's gonna bring it down on my ratings. I've got a spreadsheet that tries to divide price action divided by time to pick out the which ones are the hottest stocks. And this is gonna send this one back a little bit. But you can see on the RSI down here on the 16-hour chart. It's very low. It's ready for a reversal any moment now. And I don't know if it's explosive enough, maybe we can just bisect all this. It just depends on what it does next. Like it could be explosive and we could get back to this, but it has to be really explosive. All right, that's CYFRF. It's 9:07. We got to let Matt go. Thank you guys so much for watching us today. I'm sorry I spent half the show just ranting about Tesla and stuff, but you knew it was coming. The disappointment. Well, let's see. I'm sorry. Let's see what Tesla does when the market opens today. Let's see if there's money out there to buy that dip. Because what a dip we had. And look,
just go ahead and see what I said about the Tesla earlier too. It's higher highs, higher lows, and it's holding the 786 fib still. It's holding GAN levels. It's holding the 50-week moving average still. It's holding so much support on the high time frame. I just don't see a need to panic. And I see a lot of people out there speculating 240s or 270s or whatever again. But it's got to break these support levels first in order to get there. So we'll see if that happens. So I'm staying I'm staying prudent, staying bullish, staying whatever until the chart proves differently.
Absolutely. I'm holding on a bunch of August 15th calls for Tesla for TSLL. Let's see how they do. All right. That's it. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah. See you tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thanks, Matt.